Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You amazing, amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's Monday still. It's Monday, and you are amazing. You look amazing. You are amazing. Thank you for being here. This is video 2 of 2. And who are we talking about in this video? We're talking about Noah Presgrove. Who is Noah Presgrove, I've heard you say? He was a lad who was found dead, sadly, last year. And it was kind of said that it was a hit and run. That was how it was being fed to people. This was a hit and run. But was it? That's the question. And in fact, was there a more sinister story behind his death? Let's have a look at this article. So here we go. Look, inside the investigation of Noah Presgrove's mysterious death and the unanswered questions. Police say they have conducted numerous interviews and reviewed leads and evidence. It says, in May, Oklahoma authorities released the long-awaited autopsy findings into the mysterious death of Noah Presgrove, but questions still remain, and in the weeks since the report was made public, People has spoken to numerous individuals involved in the case to get more answers. Noah's, by the way, trigger warning. This does go into a little bit of graphic detail about his injury sustained, so if you don't want to hear it, fast forward a couple of minutes. Noah's bloodied and battered body was found early on September 4th, 2023, about a mile's drive from a rowdy house party that he attended with friends the night before his death. The 19-year-old Comanche, Oklahoma resident was naked. The base of his skull had been split in two. His spine was fractured and an 8-inch head wound peeled back part of his scalp to the bone, his autopsy states. In a cover story in this week's magazine, Oklahoma State Police, who are continuing to investigate the death, tell People that they don't believe Noah was murdered, but can't comment further while their work continues. Initially, law enforcement arriving at the roadside scene when Noah's body was reported by two drivers believed that the talented athlete and recent high school graduate had died in a road accident, possibly a hit and run. But the more that investigators examined the site, the more their suspicions darkened. We've had other people hit before, and we can recreate it and make it make sense, says Jefferson County Sheriff Jeremy Wilson, who was one of the first responders on September 4th. This whole situation didn't sit well with me. Desperate for answers, Noah's family has launched their own campaign for the truth, including hiring a private investigator to try and solve the heartbreaking case. And we won't stop until Noah has justice, says Dalen Presgrove, Noah's 24-year-old brother, who hopes that by speaking with people, it will inspire someone who knows what happened to come forward. I can tell you now, they won't. People don't give a fuck when it's around stuff like this. We've seen it time and time again. Look at Kiely Rodni case, for instance. Was anybody fucking bothered? Did they care? Did they fuck? They're very, very good at shutting the fuck up when someone dies around parties. That's what I've learned about a lot of these university and school students around the world. It's just what happens. Seldom do anybody come forward and say, actually, this is what happened. That's why in the Idaho 4 case, you have to kind of consider, was there a fight that broke out that stemmed from the frat party? Do you know what I mean? We've heard of fights happening. We know there was a fight happening. Some people try to downplay it. We've obviously got Brian Kohberger has been fingered for it at the moment, but that's not a given, and we've got to see a lot more. But if Brian Kohberger didn't do it, then please tell me who did do it. If he didn't, who did? What then makes the most sense? I'll tell you what makes the most sense. Frat house party that exploded into something worse. Now, is that what happened? I'm not saying that is, but I'm saying I don't yet believe that Brian Kohberger is the person who did it. It's just the way it is. Here's what to know about what's been confirmed in the case and what remains to be discovered. What happened in the hours leading up to Noah's death. This is interesting because it says the tragedy that has consumed Noah's family and friends began to unfold in the pre-dawn darkness of September 4th, when two passing motorists spotted a teenager lying on the side of Oklahoma's Highway 81. Blood had pooled by his head. It looked awful odd, one of the drivers told 911. Tyler Hardy was one of the two 911 callers that morning and remained on the scene after reporting Noah's body. Hardy tells People the truck driver and other caller returned and waited as well. His legs were bent and his back was towards the road, Hardy says of Noah's body. His legs were towards the ditch and his head was just kind of laid there right along. His whole body was laid along the white line, but he was laying on what would have been his right side. In May, the team's autopsy report obtained by People revealed that he died of multiple blunt force injuries, but that the cause of those injuries remains undetermined. Now, just think how many people get killed in car accidents, car-derived injuries. Now, they will know this. When someone's doing an autopsy on someone in a road, for them to turn around and say they're undetermined is because they're not consistent with what they've seen in automotive-derived injuries previously. The autopsy includes some further details about Noah's final hours alive, which have been expanded upon by interviews with some of those close to him. Noah was drinking at a house party in Terrell, Oklahoma, the night before he was found dead, according to his family and his best friend, 19-year-old Jack Newton. At some point, Noah left the party and rode an ATV Ranger vehicle with several men that had a rollover incident, according to a narrative describing the circumstance of his death in his full autopsy report, which was obtained by People on May 13th. Additional details about what that incident entailed were not included in the report, which only noted that Noah survived and had returned to the party where he got into an argument. He later left the party at an unspecified time. Jack tells People that though he says he was asleep at the party at the time, he believes Noah left around 3:30 a.m. on September 4th. Another party goer posted on social media about 10 minutes later that Noah was missing, and no one has said publicly that he was seen alive again. Noah's brother Dalen previously told People that investigators have collected Snapchats, videos, and text messages from partygoers. However, the timeline of events is still incomplete. PI working with the family, Kathy Bingham, says she has zeroed in on 2 of the night's attendees and will be providing law enforcement with what she's learned. An attorney for the party host Avery Howard declined to answer specific questions for People's cover story, but said in a statement that she and her extended Will Coxon family are working with investigators. Noah's relatives say the party wasn't searched after Noah's body was found. The entire Will Coxon's family mourns the tragic death of Noah Presgrove, lawyer Andrew Benedict said. The Will Coxon family has coordinated and cooperated with the investigation, law enforcement agencies completely, and intends to continue such cooperation until the investigation is concluded. How did Noah's body end up on the side of the highway? It's unclear when and where Noah died, but at 5:43 a.m., caller reported seeing him along the Highway 81. According to the narrative of Noah's death included in his autopsy, the 2-lane highway passing through Terrell is poorly lit at night, with 2 traffic lanes, including shoulders on each side, with a speed limit of 65 miles per hour. In the autopsy report, he was listed as a pedestrian, but no vehicle parts or debris were found on the road near his body. His brother previously told People that authorities have told him that they do not believe Noah was involved in a hit and run. So that again, I will say that again. They do not believe Noah was involved in a hit and run. Dr. Priya Banerjee is a board-certified forensic pathologist unconnected to the probe, but she has reviewed Noah's autopsy that pinpoints his cause of death as blunt force injuries. Whatever happened, accidental or nefarious, she says that she keeps coming back to this detail. Something seems to have hit Noah on the left side of his head hard. There's so many possibilities, and nothing about the injury pattern detailed in the autopsy report will help narrow it down further, Banerjee says in this week's cover story. Boy was Noah naked, wearing only mismatched shoes. The state of Noah's body is still the subject of many of his family's most urgent unanswered questions. Naked Noah wore only mismatched shoes, an Adidas on his left and a Hey Dudes on his right, per the autopsy report. Debris and grass were stuck in the laces of each, with more on the left shoe. A silver-plated chain necklace from Noah's grandmother lay scattered in pieces not far away, near remnants of a tooth. His undamaged shorts were first seen about 30 yards away. Jack, Noah's best friend, tells People that the shorts were actually borrowed from him. Noah put them on after cleaning himself up following the ATV incident. The report answers some questions, but also raises many more. Dalen told People after reviewing the report, "I'm at a loss for words." The two most important components of an autopsy report are the cause and manner of death, the latter which essentially described how did it happen. In solved cases, the manner of death is typically assigned to the following categories: natural, accident, suicide, or homicide, but there is another option. In Noah's case, the medical examiner has said that the 19-year-old died from multiple blunt force injuries. How Noah became injured in the first place, however, remains unknown. This sounds very much like, is it the Stephen Smith situation surrounding Buster Murdoch? Almost identical. Included in the autopsy report are toxicology tests. Those tests appeared clean with no amphetamine, methamphetamine, fentanyl, cocaine, opiates, PCP, barbiturates, or benzodiazepines detected in his system. Panel tests are not designed to detect other drugs like oxycodone, methadone, or clonazepam. Alcohol was found in Noah's system, although it's unclear what effect, if any, that had in the circumstances surrounding his death. At this time, what transpired on how the body was found on the road, having multiple blunt force injuries, is unknown. Medical examiner Leonardo Requero wrote in the autopsy report, therefore, the manner of the death is deemed undetermined. What are they still looking for? Oklahoma's Department of Public Safety previously confirmed to people that whilst authorities are not currently investigating the case of murder, the investigation is not over. Investigators have conducted numerous interviews and reviewed leads and evidence. Sarah Stewart of the state's law enforcement agency said in the May 2nd statement, noting that Noah's death case remains open and is currently being jointly investigated by the Oklahoma Highway Patrol and Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. There are many conflicting accounts of that night, says Noah's brother. With so much time passing, it seems that the stories are changing. Other times, it feels like they are reading off of a script. It's hard to trust anyone. State authorities asked if anyone has information about Noah's death, contact them at 580-353-0783. And again, what else does it remind you of? It sadly reminds you eerily similar to Kiely Rodni. Look at that situation. And where is that situation? If you try even now to get information on the Kiely Rodni case, and believe me, I've tried, they still claim that they can't offer any information for a FOIA request because technically the case is still open. So there you have it. And that's likely what's going to happen here. Another sad story where someone dies during a party and undetermined. We'll leave it at that then. Everyone will be happy. Let me know down below what you think. Had you heard of this case? Is this the first time hearing about it? Again, let me know down below. If you want to hear more about it, want to do more of a deep dive into everything, again, let me know down below. Perhaps we'll do a live. Until next time, stay safe.